traumatic injury, and we can see that types of injury in the athletes. These types of stroking injury or hitting injury during the game. Concussion is violent jarring or shaking that result in the disturbances of the brain function. Types of traumatic injury occurs in the sports, and it result in the constellation of physical, emotional, cognitive, visual and sleep related disturbances. Generally, it induced by biomechanical forces. There are several types of biomechanical forces is that blow the head, face and neck. It can occur from any blow that transmit the brain through the head. So traumatic brain injury that change the way your brain function. So brain is made up of the soft tissue and is protected by the blood and spinal fluid. When the skull is jolted too fast or it is impacted by something, so the brain shift and hit against the skull. So this can lead to the swelling of the brain and tearing of the vessels and other nerve also and other soft tissue of the brain. Most concussions are mild and can be treated with the appropriate care. Now, what are the clinical presentation of these types of injury? So it is important to note that these types of symptoms can be appear instantly or at the time of incident or even after few minutes or after hours of that event. Symptoms can be headache, vomiting, dizziness, nausea, cognitive changes. Now what is the physical sign of that injury? That is the loss of consciousness, balance impairment, that is the unsteadiness of gait, behavioral changes, that is irritability, cognitive impairment, in which include that slow reaction time. The patient is having a difficulty in perform certain movements or certain tasks. Sleep and weight disturbances also there. Now other symptoms is dizziness, vertigo, difficulty in concentrating, word finding problem and depression. Now what are the risk factor of that kind of injury? There are 4 types of factors that affect this injury. Now first is sex. Say higher rate is recorded for the male rather than the female. Now positions. Position is also associated with the higher and lower risk of the concussion. Now what types of sports is also affect that types of injury. Now Australian rugby or American football is having a greater chances to lead to this injury rather than the baseball and volleyball. Athletes related factors like body mass index and training time, it is also affect that injury. Now what are the assessment? There are several types of tools and scales available for the assessing different types of symptoms, but player should be evaluated by a physician or other licensed healthcare provider. It includes the cognitions. Is the patient is able to communicate with the environment like time, place, persons or not? And we should assess the cranial nerve. We know that 12 cranial nerve which is located in our brain and which is more prone to injure during these types of injury. And balance is also affected. So balance, we should assess the balance also. Now what are the SCAT and SAC? There are the 2 types of scale. One is the SCAT. It is the sport concussion assessment tools to assess the coordination, balance and neck examination. Now what is the SAC? SAC is the sports assessment concussions assess that skill, that is assess the immediate memory and concentration. Now assessment for the vestibulospinal system and emotional assessment it is also important. Now clinical reaction time, we should assess the clinical reaction time in which ask the patient to do some task or do some activity. So if the patient is not able to do that activity within a time limit, so it could indicate that there is a concussion injury or other types of brain injuries there. Now assess the cervical spine, whiplash associated disorder and any cervicogenic headache. Cervical muscles assessment is also important by the dynamometer. We generally perform the MMT of the deep cervical flexors, extensor and side flexors. Now smooth pursuit neck torsion test. This test is performed by ask the patient to follow these types of figure of 8 by the finger, and patient is following these types of movements. If within that test, patient is feeling like dizziness or any nystagmus. If we see any nystagmus is there, so it could be indicate that a concussion injury is there. And test for the BPPV, that is benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, in which patient is feeling a dizziness in the certain positions of the head and the neck. And it can be done by the Dix-Hallpix maneuver. What is the Dix-Hallpix maneuver? Ask the patient to lay down on her back at the edge of the table, and ask the patient to extend the head about the 20 to 30 degree and rotate towards the affected side or pain side. If the patient, we observe that any types of nystagmus or any types of dizziness, then it could be indicate that BPPV is there. Other assessment, it include the MRI and CT scan also. Now, physical rehabilitations. What is the important role of physiotherapist in that kind of injury? So, first of all, neck strengthening exercise. Isometric exercise of the neck is very important, because our neck muscles isometric strength is directly related to the athlete's injury. Our isometric strength of the muscles is important to reduce the kinematic force of our head upon the any impact. So, we could perform this types of exercise like flexors exercise, flexor strengthening exercise, or extensors or side flexors. This exercise is for the side flexors of the neck, that is SCM and scalene muscles, or the deep side flexors muscles. And always resistance is opposite to movements, opposite to the direction of the movements. Now, this exercise is for the deep extension muscles like oblique cubitus superior and oblique cubitus inferior. That is main deep flexors of the deep extension of the neck. Now, what is the other thing is myofascial release. Myofascial release is also important to release the surrounding muscles of the neck. Now, vestibular ocular motor screening, that is the VOMS as a treatment. This exercise can be divided into two, that is the adaptation and habitual exercise. In habitual exercising, this exercise is generally performing those patients who are having an inner ear injury and who regularly feel that like dizziness when they move their head or neck in the certain directions. So what we have to do these exercises based on that repeatedly exposure of the certain provocative symptoms that could reduce in the motion provoke symptoms. So now in adaptation exercise is one types of gaze stabilization exercise. What we have to do in that mainly vestibulo-ocular motor reflex is modified to certain movements. And in a habitual exercise we can perform that how to perform this exercise. So we can perform the rapid movements of the head and neck in the certain directions, so that could be helping reductions of that symptoms. It can be divided by the two. If our visualizing stimulus is stationary, now ask the patients to focus on the visualizing stimulus and ask the patient to do the vertical and horizontal head movements, but our focus is stationary on that particular target. Now these are the three exercises. First of all, ask the patient to look straight ahead. Next is according to the target, visualizing target, ask the patient to turn the 45 degree towards the right side, and ask the patient to perform this head towards the left side. This can help in the improving our dynamic posture also, static posture also, and dynamic posture. Now, other thing is that when our visualizing target is opposite to the head movements, like this, opposite to the head movement, so that would be helping improving our dynamic visual acuity. Now another exercise is vestibular exercise. As we are knowing the vestibular spinal tract, vestibular nerve is very affected in that types of injury. So vestibular nerve is main now that control our head and neck posture. So vestibular exercise, this types of vestibular balance exercise is helpful for the improving of the neck balance and the trunk balance also. Now, another thing is gaze stabilization exercises performed in the according to the week. Like in adaptation exercise at the first week, we have to perform this vertical and horizontal movements of the head, as I said in earlier. That it could be performed in the sitting posture, but about the 1 minute. And in the second week. We should progress further and ask the patient to do that same exercise but in the sitting posture but for about 2 minutes. But at the third week, same exercise is performed but in the standing posture. Like ask the patient to stand and do that movements, vertical and horizontal movements of the head. Now next is habitualization exercise. So according to the week, at the first week, what we have to do, we have to use a large amplitude and rapid movements of the head and neck, but in the sitting posture. And movements of the head and the neck in the sitting posture, that should be about 5 cycles at one set and 3 sets per day. And in the next week, same exercise is performed in the sitting posture like vertical and the horizontal, but it should be fast. But with the bending forward and trunk bending and trunk extension. So it should be with the trunk flexion and trunk extension exercise. Same repetition and same cycle. Now at the third week, what we have to do? We have to perform this same exercise in the sitting and then progress to the standing exercise with the trunk bending and trunk extension and flexion exercise. Now, what are the other symptoms management? As we are knowing, the sleep disturbances is main features of the concussion injury. Now, good sleep hygiene is very important. No caffeine consumption, no smoking, no alcohol. Regular exercise should be necessary. Now, stress management technique in which we can advise that breathing exercise, diaphragmatic breathing, deep breathing exercise, and also the Savasana and Jacobson technique. Now, benzodiazepam should be avoided because it really hampered our brain function and it interfere our next progression assessment plan. Now, vertigo management. What is the vertigo? Vertigo is a patient feeling. Patient sometimes feel the dizziness when they put their head in the certain positions, like in the sideline positions, in sitting posture and standing also. So we can treat that types of symptoms is by the two manner. One is a Brand Direct exercise and another is the seventh maneuver. In a Brand Direct exercise, what we have to do, in a Brand Direct exercise, ask the patient to sit in the middle of the bed. So patient can lay each side, right side and left side. And in a Brand Direct, ask the patient to look straight and then rotate the head towards the right side and then lay down towards the left side and wait for the 10 seconds or 30 seconds for the dizziness is coming or not. If the symptoms is decreased, then ask the patient to straight ahead. And next session will be ask the patient to rotate towards the left side and lay towards the right side and feel the dizziness or any symptoms. That again wait for the 10 seconds and sit upright. Now another exercise is seventh maneuver. What is the seventh maneuver? Same as the Brand Direct, but certain types of modification is there in the seventh maneuver. Now if a patient is having a left side BPPV, then ask the patient to look towards the right side and lean towards the left side and wait for the 30 seconds to dizziness is come or not. And again ask the patient to straight up. Then again head should be in the position that earlier. Now head should not be moving in opposite directions. Head should be in right side rotations direction. Ask the patient to lean down towards the right side with the head in the same positions and wait for the 30 seconds and ask the patient to again sit down. This could be helping the improving our symptoms, and that could be helping the reducing vertigo symptoms like dizziness or nystagmus also. So according to the canal, this exercise is based on the according to the semicircular canal of our inner ear. And again, this types of positions that change the our semicircular canal position in the brain, and that result in improving our symptoms also. Thank you.